There's a strange connection between an ancient samurai strategy and modern delivery. And it's not because we're fighting literal battles, but because we're navigating uncertainty, pressure, timing, and human behavior every single day. When I first read the Book of Five Rings, something clicked. Musashi describes challenges that look exactly like delivery problems: chaos, ambiguity, competition, the need for calm leadership when everything's on fire. So today I want to share with you 10 powerful lessons from Musashi, updated for agile teams, digital delivery, and the reality of working with stakeholders, Jira boards, and organizational politics. Let's begin. Number one, there's more than one path to the top of the mountain. This is Musashi's warning against rigid thinking. In his time, rival schools obsessed over perfect stances and footwork, believing their way was the only way. Musashi rejected that completely. He adapted constantly, he experimented, he learned from every opponent. In delivery, the one true way thinking is everywhere. You must do Scrum, you must do 2-week sprints, you must do stand-ups at 9 a.m. and it's all nonsense. Great delivery leaders already understand this, that Agile is not a religion, it's a toolbox. Different environments will need different approaches. A data science team is not a product team. A content team is not a platform team. A consultancy client is not an internal team. When you free yourself from those rigid frameworks, something incredible happens. Your focus shifts from, are we doing Scrum correctly, to, are we delivering value effectively? That's when you see real Agile in action. Lesson number 2, do nothing that is of no value. This is brutal in the best possible way. Musashi didn't tolerate waste in movement, in thought, in anything. Every action served a purpose. Every step mattered. Most teams today are drowning in useless activities, meetings that generate no outcomes, refinement sessions that go nowhere, stand-ups that are just status reports, Jira tickets with 9 unnecessary fields. Musashi would probably look at our calendars and say, you're fighting the wrong battles. To be an effective delivery leader, you need to develop a ruthless eye for waste. You have to ask, does this activity move us closer to value? If not, remove it, replace it, compress it. You have permission to simplify much more than you think. When you eliminate waste, your teams will move faster. They'll gain clarity, they'll gain confidence and focus, and that's the foundation of real agility. Lesson number 3, it may seem difficult at first, but everything becomes easy with practice. High-performing teams are not born, they're trained. Musashi fought over 60 duels, not because he enjoyed fighting, but because mastery requires repetition. He understood that skill becomes instinct, instinct becomes fluidity, and fluidity is where power comes from. Agile teams work in the same way. The first few retrospectives might feel awkward. The first few planning sessions might feel slow. The first few sprints may even seem chaotic. But with consistency, the team begins to coordinate naturally. They anticipate each other's styles. They resolve conflicts faster. They will give clear updates and communicate with less friction. And your job as a delivery leader is to build the environment where practice is safe. Because teams need a safe place where they're not afraid of judgments or failure. And I'm not going to end this lesson by saying practice makes perfect. I'm going to end this by saying practice makes possible. Lesson number 4, if you know the way broadly, you'll see it in everything. This is Musashi's version of systems thinking. When you understand underlying patterns deeply, you see problems before they become visible. Great leaders recognize early signals. A developer hesitating before committing a story. A product owner showing a subtle discomfort with the roadmap. Risks begin to cluster in one area. Cycle time trends, bending in the wrong direction. From the outside, these look like unrelated issues, but when you know the way broadly, you connect the dots instantly. This is why experience matters. You're not just managing sprints, you're managing the route, you're reading the route, you're reading the flow, you're reading the patterns that underline delivery. The best leaders will solve these problems before anyone even notices them. Lesson number 5, perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. Musashi wasn't talking magic here. He was talking about intuition built from experience. In duels, he relied on microsignals, tension in the opponent's shoulders, breathing, stance shifts. In delivery, the invisible signals mattered just as much. Burnout forming quietly in the background, a team member losing motivation, a stakeholder hiding doubt behind polite words, or a team pretending it's all fine when it's actually drowning. You can't measure these in Jira, and no dashboard will give you this warning. This is leadership as a human skill. It's noticing the tone, the energy, the hesitation, the silence. Musashi would say the eyes see, but the mind perceives. Great leaders don't just look, they sense. Lesson number 6, you must remain calm and at ease. In a duel, panic is death. In delivery, panic spreads through the team faster than any blocker. When something goes wrong, a production outage, angry stakeholder, catastrophic dependency, The team looks to you first. If you're rattled, they're rattled. If you're grounded, they stabilize. Calm leadership is not passive though. It's the ability to slow movement down, to remove emotion from decision making and give the team a certain amount of clarity that they can't access in the heat of the moment. You become the anchor, that fixed point in the storm. Musashi's calm was not natural. It was trained. And in delivery, calm is that difference between firefighting and leading. Lesson number 7, do not let the enemy see your spirit. This is about discipline. Musashi reveals that confidence must be maintained even in uncertainty. You must never reveal fear. You must never reveal doubt you haven't processed. In delivery, the enemy isn't a person, it's chaos, it's politics, it's pressure. Stakeholders do not need to see you scrambling. The team does not need to see you overwhelmed. Executives don't need to see that internal conflict play that in front of them. But this doesn't mean being fake. It means being composed. You project stability so your team can navigate that uncertainty. Your presence is a leadership tool. Musashi knew that and he used it. Lesson number 8, the true science of martial arts means practicing in such a way that it will be useful at any time. Frameworks are rigid, principles are adaptable. Musashi mastered principles so he could adapt instantly to any opponent. As delivery leaders, you must master principles too. Flow, focus, alignment, clarity, communication, incremental progress. These principles work in any environment. Scrum, Kanban, hybrid, discovery, maintenance, AI projects, consultancy clients, it doesn't matter. The mistake most organizations try to do is apply the same rules everywhere because rules don't scale. Principles scale. So when you operate from principles, you're never knocked off balance. Lesson number 9, from one thing, know 10,000 things. This is pure systems thinking again. Musashi says, if you understand one thing deeply, you understand many things broadly. In delivery, we can translate this as if one part of the system is messy, the rest of the system is messy as well. If prioritization is unclear, delivery slows. If requirements are vague, defects arise. If stakeholders are misaligned, the roadmap collapses. If the work in progress is uncontrolled, everything becomes late. Tiny early signals predict huge downstream impact. Great leaders will fix the root, while weak leaders will look at just the symptoms. And finally, lesson number 10, the void is where nothing exists. The void is a place of true potential. Musashi ends with pure philosophy, and it's incredibly relevant for modern product teams. Innovation doesn't come from the backlog, it comes from the unknown, the questions that nobody's asked, the gaps that nobody's explored. The void is discovery work. It's a space where new ideas, better solutions, and breakthrough products emerge. Most teams avoid the void because it feels uncertain, but the best teams embrace it because that's where the biggest opportunities live. As a leader, you have to make space for that emptiness, time to think, time to explore, time to question. The void isn't a lack, but it's a beginning. I hope those 10 lessons resonated with you. Musashi wasn't just teaching swordsmanship, he was teaching clarity, presence, adaptability, and mastery, the exact skills modern delivery leaders need. You don't need more frameworks, you don't need more ceremonies, you don't even need more process. You need awareness, calm, pattern recognition, and the courage to remove what doesn't matter. If you want a deep dive into the 5 rings, earth, water, fire, wind, and void, watch out for my upcoming book, 5 Rings of Delivery. Thanks for watching. Make sure you press like, subscribe, and as always, stay agile.